Okay, scatter cowgirls and cowboys, it's time to talk about quality control devices. Is this super important? Probably not. Is the registry going to ask you probably like 1 or 2 questions of these really random objects that they use for quality control? Probably. And you're going to be sitting there taking your test, and you're going to remember that one video where your professor was sitting there with a backwards hat and a sports bra on because her air conditioner wasn't working, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember. She talked about that shit. Quality control devices, because nothing screams fun while sitting there doing quality control while your equipment gaslights you. These little diagnostic divas are how we make sure our images don't look like hot garbage. I have literally never seen a tech do any quality control in my entire 2 years of clinicals, but that's just me. Number 1, let's talk about Phantom. These plastic freaks pretend to be people. They're shaped like heads, torsos, and sometimes boobs. I'm going to read from a list here. They are used for reproducibility, contrast resolution, spatial resolution, slice thickness in CT, and ACR compliance testing. Phantoms. The mannequins of medical imaging, but with judgmental energy. Like a Barbie that tell you your x-ray machine sucks. Number 2, and the question that I keep getting asked about on mock registry exams, is a step wedge or a penetrometer. The grayscale snob looks like a metal staircase. Tests contrast resolution by telling you if your system can tell the difference between barely different shades of gray. This is used for checking dynamic range in digital. How to remember this? Step wedge. Is your machine colorblind? Let's find out. Basically an eye test for your imaging system. I have not come across this, but I will briefly mention the spin top test, which has to do with testing X-ray generators, single phase and 3-phase timer accuracy. I highly doubt anybody uses a single phase or a 3-phase generator, but if the question comes up, that's what a spin top is for. It's for timers. Next, line pair resolution tool. Can you see this tiny shit? Looks like somebody etched a bunch of tiny zebra stripes onto a little chip. Tests how sharp the system is, or how the sharpness, whatever. Just remember, if you see a little device on your screen, a picture of it, that somewhere on it says line pairs /mm, or it's like LP/mm, that's line pairs, that's always spatial resolution. And then there's a KVP tester, apparently. This one checks if your system is saying what KVP it's saying it's actually giving. And pop quiz, what percent should the KVP be within to be considered acceptable? It's 5%. MA linearity test, the current accountant. This checks whether the MA is actually doubling the dose when you double the dose. Pop quiz, what should MA stations be within? What is the percentage? It's 10%. I will briefly mention a densitometer. I don't know what it is, but I will tell you that it has been the options on some of my questions. To me, it sounds like it's only for film, which we don't have to learn about anymore. So, if densitometer is one of your options on your questions, it's probably not the answer. Anyway, quality control, because your x-ray system would absolutely gaslight you if it could. Just like we're about to be gaslit by this test, that any of this is actually used in real life.